In this video, I'm going to share with you how to feel confident about your offer, whatever it is that you're selling, even if you can't promise a specific outcome. Maybe what you're selling is not something with an outcome at all. Maybe it's just a feeling, it's an experience, it's an inner transformation. A lot of my clients happen to be in this category. They're not selling you how to do X by this many days. Maybe your results also depend on the other person. I also have lots of clients who fall in this category, coaches and that sort of thing, where the other person has to show up and put in the work. And if they don't, well, you can't really promise results. And maybe you just don't have this confidence because you don't have enough client results under your belt. Either way, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to develop this complete conviction in your offer and in what you sell without being or feeling like a fraud. Okay, so there are two parts to feeling confident and having conviction in what you sell. The first one is energy. This is everything that's happening on the inside. So your feelings, your thoughts, what you believe. Then the other part is your delivery. This is how you communicate your belief. So this is your choice of words, your tone of voice, your pacing, your emphasis. Where do you pause? How do you communicate with your body language? Now, for this video, I will tell you the most important thing is your energy. I like to think of it like your energy is the ice cream sundae, and then delivery is a cherry on top. If you get your energy right, your delivery will be on point. If you believe, if you have confidence, the inner game is mastered and is taken care of, you don't have to obsess over what words exactly you're going to say and how you're going to say them. You don't have to perform. There is still value in learning how to deliver, but it's not necessary. So in this video, I'm going to focus a lot more on energy. I'll talk a little bit about delivery at the end of the video. Okay, let's talk about your energy. To get your energy right, for lack of better words, we do two things. We stack evidence and we remove doubt. Stacking evidence starts by first understanding what is it that we're trying to prove. Like if you were at a courthouse and you had a case to build, what is it that you're building? What is your case? So you got to ask yourself, what exactly am I offering my clients? The biggest benefit. Even if you can't really define the specific outcome, like I said, there's got to be a feeling. There's got to be some sort of experience, some sort of inner transformation. So what is the biggest benefit that they get out of working with you? Then what you want to do is you want to think about how it impacts their lives in real, tangible, palpable ways. So let me give you an example. Let's say what you do is you help them feel more aligned and calmer and more joyful. Right? It sounds like, what the heck is that offer? Well, how does it affect their lives? You're not going to package it or present it this way, but you're going to think about how is it impacting their lives in real ways. So for example, if you feel calmer, you're going to make better decisions, you're going to exhibit better behaviors, and by consequence, naturally, you're going to have better outcomes in your life. It's going to impact your income. If you're calmer and more clear-headed, it's going to impact your revenues, your relationships, your health, etc., etc. It may feel like a stretch, but just for now, just suspend your judgment and just brain dump all possibilities for now. That's all we're doing. We're just brain dumping possibilities. Because next, what we're going to do is we're going to start finding evidence. Now we're going to find evidence, any and all evidence of this being true. You can find evidence in many places, but I'm going to recommend 3 places. The first and most obvious one is your clients, if you have any clients. The biggest mistake that I've seen my clients make here is they wait until their clients get their whole life is transformed before they say this is a success story. The truth is, there are incremental, tiny wins and improvements along the way that you're probably not even noticing. Especially if those things come easy to you, you're downplaying them. Big successes are made of smaller successes. If you don't celebrate the small wins, you're not going to celebrate the big wins. Let me just put it that way. So you have to get in the habit of celebrating and noticing all the ways that your clients are winning in small ways along the way before they get the big results. And if you don't have any clients yet, that's okay. You can go out there and start getting some experience for free. A lot of people say, you shouldn't do for free. I think you shouldn't do for free if it's coming from a place of feeling not good enough. But if it's because you genuinely recognize you don't have enough experience and you want to build experience and you want to have confidence, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, it's apprenticeship, essentially. It's like an internship, but you're doing it for yourself. I don't want to dwell too much on this point. You get the idea. Get the experience, and especially notice the wins. Notice the successes and celebrate them. Now, the second place to look for evidence is your content. If you're posting content, if you're not, what are you doing? You should start posting content or conversations in general. So again, here, you don't want to wait until somebody sends you a message and says, "Oh my gosh, your content completely changed my life." You may or may not get comments like that, but you will get comments that say something like, "Thank you so much, this was really helpful." Take it to heart. Let yourself fully receive that. I can't stress that enough. You know what I did in the early days? I created a folder called Wall of Love, and I basically started taking screenshot of every single positive comment and every single positive DM I would get. To this day, I do it. To this day. You know, there were so many times, especially in the early days, when I felt like, what's the point? Nobody cares because we forget so quickly. And then I would go to that folder and I would see all these screenshots from people telling me how helpful it was and thank you so much and this was great and all of that. And it would almost give me life in that moment to be like, okay, yeah, I remember. This is really working. This is doing something. It's so easy to forget. So make sure to document those things. We remember negative comments and we remember failures and painful experiences so much more than these things, especially when they're, little dopamine spikes of like, yay, great post. It's so easy to forget that. Make sure to take these screenshots. Do it as long as you can. I still do it to this day. Maybe one day it becomes so much that I won't be able to handle it, but it's still a great practice. I'm still doing it years later. Highly, highly recommend that you start doing something like that. If you're not posting content, again, go ahead and start posting content because what the heck are you doing? But also make sure to pay attention to your conversations in real life. If you're anything like me, you have to kind of hold back to not help everyone you talk to. Like your friends, your acquaintances, your family, or whatever. I kind of had to learn to not do that. But I'm pretty sure you've had some experiences where your friend or somebody's life was changed by a conversation that you had with them. I forget my fucking words. Make sure to let that be accepted by you, be fully, fully felt by you, because again, when we are so good at something, it's so easy to dismiss it and think it's not a big deal, but it's truly magic. Even if you notice like a change in their energy, and you will, let yourself remember that. The third place you can be looking for evidence right now is you, your own life. Actually, I should have said this is the first place. So what I like to tell my clients is you are your own best and biggest case study. If this is your life's work, then hopefully you are following your own teachings. Start doing it with even more intention. Start actually treating it like you are your most diligent student, your best, most ideal client ever. You're following everything that you say to a T. You take it so seriously. Practice what you teach in your own life. And here's the kicker. This is not just a great way to reflect, but you can make content out of it. It makes for great content material because now you're observing, you're applying, you're writing, you're documenting your experience, you're learning from yourself, from your own experience. You are sharing real lived experience, nuance that nobody else is going to share with you. Your own clients are not going to be able to give you this kind of feedback about your own content or your own teachings or your own programs. So when you do it with this level of intention and you write about it and you talk about it, it creates this beautiful body of work that's based on truth. It's your truth, it's your experience, and it becomes so much more impactful for the people. So like I said, great way to have conviction, but also great to reflect and to get to know yourself, and great for content. And as another bonus, it's also the skeleton for your future programs and for your products and services. So it's a win-win-win. So the thing about belief that I want you to really get here is that belief is not binary. It's not like I believe or don't believe in myself or believe or don't believe in my programs. It's how much do I believe? You already believe, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. So there is a belief already, but you probably don't believe strongly enough. And conviction means that you have a strongly held belief, and that comes from stacking evidence and removing doubt. So that brings me to my next point, removing doubt. What if you stack the evidence, but there's still a voice in the back of your head that's telling you, yeah, but. So that voice actually needs to be addressed. We shouldn't ignore it. We should listen to it and see what it's trying to tell us. For example, I had a client who was resisting promoting himself. And when we dug a little bit deeper into it, it turns out there were some elements about his offer that he was not clear about. So he was afraid of promoting himself. He was actually afraid of getting clients and taking money because he was afraid that he wasn't going to be able to deliver. And that makes complete sense. So what we did is we ironed out his offer, and just like that, he felt super clear. And now he felt an integrity. He felt ready that if somebody were to pay him, he would be able to service that person. And guess what? Within weeks, he was already selling his offer. I had another client who was also struggling a little bit with this idea of promoting herself. Her point of resistance was that she wasn't 100% sure about her brand message, and she was constantly comparing herself to other people online. She was kind of having like a bit of a business identity crisis. And so that's what we worked on. Once you work on these points of insecurity, the things that are making you feel insecure, instead of dismissing them and being like, well, get over it, but to actually work on them, what happens is your conviction will go up automatically too. So it's not just about stacking evidence. Sometimes it is also about removing doubts. Now let's quickly talk about delivery, the cherry on top. There's a lot of value in practicing your delivery. There's a lot of value in learning how to hold your body and how to speak and where to pause and all of those details. I think that's beautiful work. The way I like to think about delivery, though, is it's a way for me to gauge where I am. It's a way to get feedback, to figure out where am I with my level of confidence right now. So, for example, in the beginning, when I started making videos, one of the things I always struggled with is I would just go so fast. I would talk so fast and I wouldn't pause. And I was not able to slow down and pause. That told me a few things about myself. One is that I was nervous. And two is that I had an underlying belief that people didn't want to hear from me. Nobody cares what I have to say. So I should get through it as quickly as possible so that I don't take up space. So whenever I listen to myself, I use delivery as a way to gauge what's happening here and here. What do you see? And then what does it say about you? So when stuff like this happens, if you are in the middle of the delivery and you start to feel nervous, all you have to do is slow down and breathe more deeply. But also you have to make a note to think about it later. You have to make a note to ask yourself, okay, what was that about? What thoughts and beliefs and feelings did I have that could have led me here? And can I think a better thought, a slightly better thought? So in the example that I just gave of, oh, I believe that nobody wants to hear from me, and that's why I'm trying to get through things as quickly as possible. Instead of trying to deny that with an affirmation that my brain is not going to accept, such as millions and millions of people are clamoring to hear what I have to say. That's not true. My mind is going to be like, that's bullshit. That's not true. So instead, what I would do is I would say, can I believe that there is at least one person out there whose life can be changed by my content? Yes. Can I believe that there's somebody out there who absolutely loves my content? Yes, I have evidence of it. Can I believe something smaller? Can my heart open to this? And you'll know it's working when there is no resistance. Your heart opens to it and it feels at ease. It feels peaceful. And when that happens, you know that you're gradually working your way out of that belief into a better thought and a better belief. So again, there's tremendous value in working on your delivery, but I believe that's a long-term practice. The last thing you want to do is you're delivering and at the same time you're thinking about your delivery, right? You're saying the thing and you're thinking about what words I'm going to use. What's my body language like? What is my tone of voice? What am I doing? When am I going to pause? Because it comes off really, it doesn't sound right. And I think you know that already, right? Like it sounds, and it doesn't feel good either. So to recap, before we move on to the final point that is super important, conviction is a strongly held belief. It's not about believing or not believing. You already believe, but you have to strengthen that belief by stacking the evidence and by removing doubt. And how do you do that? First, you define what is it that you're offering people? What's the biggest benefit? If you're not sure, at least lean onto the emotion, the inner transformation, and think about how it's impacting their lives in real, tangible, palpable ways. Don't skimp. Don't downplay your impact. Brainstorm if you have to. Be creative. It's okay, because you're going to go and find evidence. And like I said, you're going to find evidence in 3 places. Your clients, if you have any. If you don't have any, go find some clients. Go get some experience, even if it's for free, even if it's for less, from content, from comments, from conversations, and from your own life, especially from your own life and from yourself. Because like I always like to say, you are your own biggest case study. Now, finally, and this is the most important piece I want you to walk away with. You cannot make yourself fully responsible for any outcome, no matter what. Even if you could promise an outcome, you can't actually promise an outcome. You can put that as a guarantee, but you can't control it. The truth is, there are some things that are completely outside of our control. And when it comes to heart-centered work and soul-led work, it's usually got to do with people changing on the inside, and that's highly unpredictable. That depends a lot more on them and on conditions that are outside of our control. But what you can control is how much you care. You can control how much you're going to show up for your clients. You can control if you have the right intentions or not. You can control if you're gonna do your very best to improve your product or service. If you're committed to creating the best world-class experience for them. If that is your commitment and you're sincere about it, I'm telling you, your clients are lucky to have you. I have no concerns or worries about your clients getting results. They will get results. And by the way, not everybody buys for results. I know I buy stuff all the time, not expecting any results. I enroll for all sorts of reasons with people, sometimes because I like the person and I think that being around them is going to help me. It's kind of like an environment thing. Sometimes it's because I want to learn skills. Sometimes because of the experience. People buy for different reasons, not always for a specific outcome. And the more evidence you find that it works, the more that it works. This goes even beyond just convincing people, because when you build this inner conviction, you know how to move yourself. You're sold on your own message before anybody else is sold, and that makes you show up with a completely different energy. But the thing about conviction is it's not this one-time decision. This is a practice, and this is exactly what I'd love to work with you on, the Brand Conviction Sprint, which is coming on April 5th. This one is a paid program, but you can get it for free. You can get it for free if you join me live on April 5th. And if you join live, not only do you get it for free, but you also get a Q&A with me. So you can ask me any question about your business, also absolutely free. I will leave the comment wherever you're watching this. I'm really, really excited to see you there and to speak to you. And I can't wait to meet you. Take care.